Hey, welcome to morning yoga. As we settle into this yoga practice today, let's take a comfortable seat. And as you settle into your seat, I invite you to open your ears and listen to the sounds in the room around you. Settle into your seat and listen, and notice if you hear sounds that are in the house outside of the room. See if you can hear sounds from outside your home. Notice the farthest away sound you hear. Now I'd like you to feel into how well you feel like you listen to others. Are you okay with silence? And when you listen to others, are you listening as if you're waiting for a turn? Or are you really listening to them, the meaning of their words, the emotion, the person behind the words? And does your mind ever drift when you're listening? And if your mind does drift sometimes when you're listening to others, do you have any anchors that can bring you back to presence and to listening? Those anchors could be the breath. I'm here in this breath, this moment, listening to this person. Could be feeling the sensations in your body. I'm here, I'm present, I'm listening. And finally, is your life enriched when you take the time to settle in and truly hear from someone else without an agenda, without judgment, without your own need to be seen and heard? How is your life enriched by simply sitting and listening. Think of a few moments when you've expanded from truly listening to someone else. Now, as your own true friend, listen inward to your own body, noticing sensations and sounds. Notice what your senses tell you. Do you feel compression or spaciousness in different parts of your form? Are you relaxed? Are you tense? Are you collapsed? Do you have integrity in your seat? Again, this is listening without judgment. And as you listen, can you gently fine tune your seated posture or your lying down posture towards ease? Who's listening? Who's noticing? Where is this listener located? And is your life enriched by taking the time to sit quietly and listen and feel inward? In this practice, we are practicing several of the limbs of yoga: pratyahara, turning the senses inward; dharana, concentration; dhyana, meditation. Feel for where you end and the world outside you begins. Do you truly end at the skin? Or is there some part of you beyond the skin connected to your loved ones, to the environment around you? As you listen, are you enriching the collective conscious outside of the Atman, the self, a part of Shiva? And then let's gently open our eyes. And with eyes open, listen inward to yourself for a moment about what you want from this practice today. What does your body, your mind, your heart truly want from this practice today? And I'm going to ask you if you feel drawn to let us know.
Tracy,
Mhm.
my thought is to want to stay attuned
Okay.
to myself and to the natural world.
Thank you, Jonathan.
I was feeling lazy. It was so far to walk to my computer to unmute.
That's a nice notice, Susie.
But what I hope for is to feel strong and balanced.
Okay. Strong and balanced. Thank you, Susie.
And not lazy.
And not lazy. Okay. Jill?
I wanted awake and strong.
Awake and
Warmed
strong.
up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Strong and balanced, awake and strong, in tune to self in the natural world. Jenny Jean?
I am just interested in just feeling and relating to the expansion and contraction, just the in and out breath and just the pressure and release.
Okay. Nice. Thank you. Sharon?
An awareness of where I am and what I need and looking for the joy and balance
Okay.
in life.
Mhm. Awareness of where I am and what I need and the joy and balance in life. Okay. So balance is a theme. Strength is a theme. Being in tune with where we are and finding the joy. And then expansion and contraction, breath. Okay.
In touch.
Being in touch. Is that what you
Yeah.
said? Okay.
Came to mind mindfulness practice. It was just my body saying, I want to be seen.
By you, right?
Yes.
Yes, I want to be seen. Okay, so you'll spend the practice really tuning in and attuning. Okay. Oh, good. Debbie and Anna are coming.
And I need some calm and strength.
Calm and strength. Okay. Physical strength, emotional strength, all of it?
Emotional.
Emotional
Yeah.
strength. Okay. Calm and strength. Okay. Thank you, Debbie. Anna?
Strength, flexibility.
Strength and flexibility. In body, mind, heart, all of it?
All of the above.
All of the above. Okay. Strength and flexibility. Okay. Strength and calm. Strength and balance. Okay. Okay. Well, let's see. I think most of you have spoken. I'm not sure if Vicky's right there or not. So let me mute everyone and we'll begin. Thank you all for sharing. Let's begin standing. And let's begin with flowing gently. And as we flow, tune into the breath and see as your arms and your spine and your bones float and flow, if you can tune in to the expansion of the inhale and the release of the exhale. And with our senses turned inward to the practice of pratyahara, really feel into the sensations of rocking, of expansion, of relaxation. And let the movements be slow enough that you can really relax into noticing. And even as we relax and become water-like, can you feel into the strength of your bones, the support of the earth beneath you, and feel into your own heaviness as we ground to earth as water. Remembering that even though water has fluidity and softness to it, it also has strength. It carves canyons. It cracks stone. It polishes stones in the riverbed. So feel into fluidity and strength as you gently flow and move. And coming to center, let your arms come beside your body, palms up. Let the heart lift skyward, the gaze lift skyward, and let yourselves roll over. And we feel into how the watery movement of extension, lifting the heart skyward, and flexion, folding forward, can help us gain flexibility and openness between the vertebrae, around the shoulders. Fluid breath, expanding us towards spaciousness, relaxing us into a grounded strength. And we set the intention to truly listen and attune. To give ourselves this next hour full attention. Feel into your fingers as you move. Can they relax? The palms of the hands. Can the bones float inside the fascial web of your palms? The wrist and forearm, can they release? Float the arm bones. Feel into space in the shoulders, and maybe you change the movement a little bit to find more space in the shoulders, more space around the back ribs. And then we come to stillness. And we imagine we're holding a hand weight in each hand, and we float the arms out to the side. We turn the palms forward, and we feel for each shoulder blade on the back. We connect each shoulder blade across the torso to the opposite buttock, and we ground the buttocks down into the heels. And breathe a gentle lift to the heart. And some of us may stay here or arms a little lower. Some of us may float the arms up to be a giant funnel to draw energy in from the sky. And we can float one foot up into Vrksasana, into kickstand, or foot onto the calf. And we feel into the standing leg, the strength. We attune to the foot as it micro moves to help us stay in balance. And if we have to put the toe down every once in a while, that's okay. We tune into the standing leg, the strength, the integrity, up the body, through the shoulders, up through the crown, fluid breath. And if balance feels easy, then we try to become more and more aware of the whole of the physical form, and perhaps we lid our eyes. Some of us may even be able to close our eyes. Fluid, three-dimensional breath, long, slow, deep expansion and relaxation. And we step down and release the arms and roll one shoulder and then the other. And we open the myofascial web and we feel into each movement, letting different tissue know, oh, I see you, I feel you. We take the elbow back. And we move slow enough that we can really pay attention to the fabric of the body. And we may open the arm and backstroke or have butterfly wings out to the side, feeling for space around the humerus bone. Noticing the breath. Stretching ourselves open from the inside with the breath. We come back to stillness and take our Vrksasana on the other side and play with where we might want to place the arms to create awareness in the torso that may help us balance. So we can move the arms in many different positions. What position is right for you to wake up the integrity of the limbs and your proprioception, your awareness of where different parts of you are in space, so you can integrate the whole and stand on one leg. We build strength in the side we're standing on. We root to rise. And the moments of silence help us really fully tune in. And we step the foot down and reach our hand skyward, reaching one hand away from the same side foot and then the other. And we stretch the fabric open because we do want flexibility and spaciousness, even as we grow strong and ground. Feel into your body as you stretch. Maybe stretching with the arms straight up doesn't feel good. Maybe you want to take the arms out to the side, or maybe you'd rather lift a shoulder and feel it in your rib cage and spine. Find the stretch that's right for you. And we stay here for a little bit. We feel into the fabric of the body and what it's saying to us. It's a practice of listening. And we open our legs and open our arms and turn the left foot out, right heel back, and release into Virabhadrasana 2. And inhaling, draw the back hand around to the front hand. Exhale it through the heart. And inhale and exhale. And open your feet wide on the floor. And coming into standing poses, we build strength in the lower body. And while we're doing that, we can build flexibility in the spine, turning the left palm up. Come into your dancing warrior, relax the shoulders, and pause, listening into the pose, fine-tuning. Release the left hand forward, right arm alongside the ear, and exhale, heart towards earth, and inhale, heart towards the heavens, and feel in to the myofascia all around the bones, stretching and releasing. Some of you may come to your forearm. And as you listen inward, notice which voices are speaking the loudest. And see if you can also listen to the quieter voices. Pause, heart towards the earth. Rest into the pose and create space around the bones. Continue to breathe into the 3 dimensions of the torso and the whole myofascial web. And then lifting the lowered shoulder, rainbow the top arm over, and feel the stretch from the outer edge of the back foot through the fingertips. Again, concentrate on floating the bones. And slowly float back up into your dancing warrior. And straightening the front leg, float into your high Trikonasana. Pause there. Find space between all of your limbs and each other. Space around the neck. Space as you press the legs apart from each other. Feel the space between them, the space behind you, in front of you, and float up into your dancing triangle. And release into your Virabhadrasana too. And float forward into your Parsvottanasana. And float open into your dancing warrior. And float forward into your high Trikonasana. And float up into your dancing triangle. And float forward into your warrior two. And take it again through the poses. Parsvottanasana. Dancing warrior. High triangle. Dancing triangle. Warrior two. And see if you can keep going at the pace that feels right to you in silence. It doesn't really matter what order you do them in. Find what comes naturally. Even as you move, can you attune? And as you come to the end of the next cycle, let's turn our left foot in and step together and pause in mountain pose. Palate floating over heart, over pelvis, over the center of the earth. Feel into the asymmetry after being in the standing poses a while. Notice the difference in quality side to side, the changes that happen. It's interesting. My left leg, to you all, my right leg feels very strong that side. Let's step wide again. Let's turn the right foot out, take the left heel back, and release into our warrior two. Inhaling the back hand towards the front hand, exhaling it through the heart. We flow. We've done these poses so many times, but can you truly be here, listening into the body in this moment? And come to stillness in Vira 2. Sinking into the pose. And bringing the right hand to the femur, left arm alongside the ear, and bowing heart towards earth and lifting heart towards the heavens. Don't just do the pose. Deeply listen inward. Perhaps you come to your forearm and pause with heart bowed towards earth, extending from back heel through fingers, and then resting into the posture, noticing, fine-tuning. Floating the lowered shoulder up, become a rainbow. Left fingertips reaching away from left outer edge of the foot. Come back to the breath. Feel how the expansion of breath stretches the body open, and then how you can relax into that spaciousness. Sometimes it's the slowing down and paying attention that contributes to the inner strength. Exhale and float up into your dancing warrior and pause, relaxing, releasing into your dancer. Now imagine the bones of your hands are super heavy and they're collapsing towards earth. Feel into that, how your hand has to kind of work to keep them up. Now imagine that they're hollow and they're little balloons. They float. Let the fingers float skyward. Notice how you can change the sensations in the body with your intentions, with your visualizations in your imagination. And exhale, float up, straightening the front leg. Lean forward into your high triangle. Space the bones, even the bones of the lumbar spine. And float up into your dancing triangle. Relax. Float the bones of your forearms, of your upper arms. Float your ribs, your head. And then flow through the poses one at a time. Warrior two. Leaning into Parsvakonasana. Floating up into your dancing warrior. Floating forward into your high triangle. Floating up into your dancing triangle. Take it at your own pace. And feel into the fabric of your body. And at the end of your next series, coming through Vera 2, straighten the leg, turn it in, and step your feet together. And give yourself some kudos for really staying in those standing poses a while. Feel your feet, your legs, your spine, your shoulders, your breath. And relax into mountain pose. Some of the building of mental strength in yoga comes with holding a pose for a while and truly feeling into it, attuning it, aligning it. See if your head can float, gently lengthening the neck. If the heart can float. If even the pelvis can float. And let's gently walk ourselves to a wall, lifting our fingers high up the wall, come up onto the balls of the feet, and slowly lower the heels, stretching the spine, the myofascia of the body, creating space between the vertebrae where many of us compress. And then slowly walk down the wall into your half dog and inhale your cow. And exhale your hissing cat. The knees can bend and straighten as feels right for you. The head can lift high above the shoulders and dip below the forearms. And then notice if there's another shape you would like to take here. Perhaps you want to take one hip farther back, or you want to bend one knee more, reaching into the glutes, the buttocks, the sacrum, feeling into the fascial connections in the low back. Maybe you want to twist slightly. We want strength to come over spacious openness. The strength brings integrity. Slowly come back to your neutral spine and float one leg up behind you, toes pointing towards the floor, Virabhadrasana 3, and see if you can float your fingers off the wall. Relax the shoulders. Stay with your expansive and relaxing breath. Notice the sensations that are speaking to you, but also notice the quieter sensations. And fingers to the wall, step into the wall, hands at shoulder height, isometrically draw the arms down, lengthen the back body, and roll the heart open, rooting pubic bone even with tailbone so you don't force the pelvis forward, keeping the knees soft, ground into the four corners of the feet. Breathe deep up into the chest like you're filling a helium balloon. Let the heart lift skyward. Now notice if there are too many sensations around the base of the neck or in the neck itself, come up out of the pose a little. Find a spaciousness to the cervical spine. a release to the back of the collar, an engagement of the shoulder blades to help with the lift of the heart center. Can you feel each foot evenly grounding on the floor from each outer hip? And from that grounding, that strength and stability, see if you can lengthen your side bodies to the back of the armpit. And exhale, release. Bring the hands up the wall again, wide, lifting up onto the wide balls of the feet. Slowly lower your heels. Feel for a spaciousness in the body as you breathe. And again, float back, coming into your neutral spine. Float the next foot up behind you. Toes pointing towards the floor. Feel into the integrity at the front of your spine. You may want to walk your arms a little lower and see if that releases your neck. Hug the hips gently towards midline, rooting into the standing foot, reaching through the lengthened legs. See if you can float the fingers off the wall. Stay with your three-dimensional breath. And walk back into the wall. This time, palms against the wall, thumbs out by the hips. Press the palms down into the wall. Expand across the collarbone, shoulder blades lifting the heart center. Again, lengthen from the outer hip where you root down into the outer heel, up to the back of the armpit, up the back of the neck to the base of the skull. For a moment, bring your attention to really feeling the sensations of the back body as you root your tail and lift the base of the skull. Feel how you can create strength and integrity in the back body. Where can you soften into the strength? So you may be locking your knees or your elbows or your fingers. You may be gripping with toes. Instead, root the four corners of the feet. Three-dimensional breath. And release. Bring your hip to the side of your wall. Step your feet out about a foot. Lift the arm next to the wall, up the wall, palm facing into the center of the room. And ground through this whole side body that's towards the inside of the room. Lengthen that before you stretch the other arm up and over in your rainbow. Lengthen up, and some of you will lean. Now, those of you with osteoporosis, really think of lifting and creating space between the bones. But in my bone health workshop, they're saying even with osteopenia, unless it's too close to osteoporosis, it's okay to find a little bone-on-bone compression, because it's through that sometimes we build bone density. Breathe, breathe, opening the fabric, and exhale back up and come to standing. Release the arm, feel into the fabric of the body. Flexibility. The work towards flexibility helps us find space to float the bones. Let's take it to the other side. Hip to the wall, arm lengthening up the side, root both feet into the floor. Lengthen the body that's on the inside of the room before you rainbow off the wall. And then continue to find length from the arches of your feet to the crown of the head. That may mean that you gently hug the skin in towards the bones, especially at the pelvis, to create a container for lengthening in both directions. to creating strength, rooting to rise. You're like a plant. You need the strength to reach the roots into the soil and lengthen your stem towards the sky. Three-dimensional breath. And lengthen back to standing. And release with your back to the wall, fingernails onto the wall behind you. Heels can step back to the wall wide. And as you lean off the wall, let it be your heart that leads you forward. Release the collar. It's not the head. Let the head rest back a little. Let the heart lead. The collarbones open. Tailbone roots towards the corner of the wall and the floor. Hug in the banks of your river. Feel the strength that integrates the pose, but don't overdo the strength. Don't make it a gripping. Make it a soft, watery, but integrated strength. Let the breath be like the river moving through the riverbed. Now let yourself lean back into the wall. If your feet need to walk a little forward because of your buttocks, that's okay. Broad across your collarbones, rest the head of your arm bones at the shoulder top, back towards the wall in robot arms. Release your pelvis towards the floor and lift the navel ring, the low rib ring, the chest ring, and the crown. Broaden from shoulder to shoulder. Soften the knees. Tailbone releases earthward, base of skull lifts skyward. Press the head of the arm bones back. Breathe into the full circumference of the torso. Now put all your weight on one foot, lift to the toe of the other foot, really ground through the standing leg, lift the opposite knee, release the lifting knees, hip crease, so that you're not jacking the hip towards the armpit, and then see if you can straighten the leg. Now really root to rise, really open across the collar, ground the head of the arm bones back, really root into the four corners of the feet, the standing foot, lift the toes, lift the arches. Reach through your crown, reach out through the lifted leg, and release. Fingernails to the wall, heels back, lean forward into your prow of the ship. Relax the collar. Fluid, three-dimensional breath. Tailbone towards the corner where floor and wall meet. And then rest back again. Feet may walk forward. Broad across the shoulders. Head of the arm bones back. Head resting back. Float to the toe of the next foot. Ground your standing leg with the toe still on the floor. And as you float the knee, release the hip. Broad across the back body. See if you can lengthen the lifted leg. Stretch down into the floor, up into the sky, out with the leg. Fluid, three-dimensional breath. Building strength. And release. Float away from the wall and back onto the floor, onto your mat in mountain pose. Feel into the sensations in your body now. Notice heart and mind. And let's come in today to Garud Asana. Bring in a block to the left, the outer side of your left foot, the pinky toe side. and walk your foot just a third of the way up the block so that when we lift the right leg, we can step over onto the block. That's the idea, okay? So then we'll inhale, let the wings rise, let the knee rise, and exhale. And we'll fluidly fly into becoming eagle. Fluid breath, feeling into the form, and let yourself become the eagle. The powerful strength, clear-sightedness of the eagle. And float the right leg up over to the block, bending the knees. Hug the legs together. Rest the wings. And if it's possible for you, lift the toes of the standing leg. Some of you will want to wrap the right or the left arm over the right in opposition to the legs. And lift the hands towards the sky. Three-dimensional breath. And bringing the elbows in towards the hip creases. We release the wings and slowly fly up and land. And then we take it to the other side. Inhaling and exhaling. Let your bones float. Notice if your mind is gripping in worry about balance. Let your mind release. And as you're ready, float the leg up and over, bending the standing knee if you can to build strength around the knee joint. Now you may want to do the arms first. Wing over wing. You can come back of hand to back of hand or palm to palm, fingertips skyward. Some of you will release the toe and wrap the foot around the standing leg calf. Three-dimensional breath. Some of you will slowly bring the elbows towards the hip creases. And you may pause here, the eagle ready to dive off the pine on the cliff for the salmon in the ocean. And release and float and land. And relax into being mountain. Let yourself feel grounded, solid and strong. Okay, let's do one more standing pose here to bring in the spaciousness and the flexibility. You can either come to the wall or you can do your Ardha Chandrasana in the center of the room. We can do it twice. So if you want to begin with a really expansive half moon pose, you may want to try it at the wall first and then come to the mat. It's up to you. If you know you can do it spaciously on the mat, go for it. So we'll take the block. Remember, it's like a knight piece in chess. It will move forward of the foot and then out to the pinky toe side as you land the block far enough forward that your wrist is under your shoulder and you have length between your hip crease and your armpit. I guess you can probably see me better if I'm doing it here. Fluid breath. Find that stable balance as you come up here. You may want to bring the other hand to the hip that's not on the block and then roll your half moon open. Really expand from the pelvis out through your limbs, from the heel to your crown. Again, find the shoulder blades on your back body. Let the shoulder blades help you open the heart, because in the end, the gaze looks out, away from earth, out, or perhaps even up towards the lifted hand. Fluid breath. Let your bones float in the sky as our own moon fills with light. Honor the little more than half full moon, 3/4 full moon. Bring your hand to your hip. Soften the standing leg and step down. Beautiful. Let's take it to the other side. Fine-tuning the pose means really listening into your posture about where any imbalance is and asking yourself, well, could I rearrange my props or my foot in a way that would create more integrity or stability? When you come up onto the standing leg, remember you want the toes pointing forward. You don't want them turning towards the big toe. And you may get your integrity here for a little while before you float the pose open. If you feel to where each limb is in space and draw back towards the pelvis from the limbs, you're going to find more stability. Use your core as a center strength. Draw into that center strength. Radiate out from that center strength. This is a beautiful pose to feel into the importance of tensegrity. We need the tension in the body to hold us together here. We use the tension, it's like a hug, integrating the bones. And then we expand out into the tension, and that may help us stabilize even more. Some of you wake up the lifted leg. Wake it up. Feel out through the foot. Beautiful. Hands to your hips. Soft standing knee. Float up. And pause for a moment in mountain. A mountain with a 3/4 moon shining above it. 3-dimensional breath. Feel for the expansion and the relaxation. And ground yourself. And then let's try it one more time. So oftentimes it is nice to do poses more than once because then we can really feel into them each time and maybe gain some more awareness. So set yourself up well. Actually, I'm going to watch you this time. Fluid breath. Those of you who want to come off the wall this time, you could use a chair seat. You could use the blocks. You could use one block on top of the other. Really nice shoulder alignment, Karen. Really beautiful. Fluid breath. Make sure, those of you already up in the pose, that you're not locking your standing knee or over tightening the lifted leg joints. Breathe deep into the pose. Really beautiful opening around your neck, Susie. Nice, vibrant pose, Jill. There's that strength. You too, Anna. Really beautiful. Nice, open hand shining out, Jenny Dean. Breathe into the heart center, the pelvis center. And then as you're ready, bring the hand down. Slowly come out of the pose. Remember the transitions are important. Very nice, Debbie. Fluid breath, Anna. Yeah. Okay. Let's take it to the other side. As you're ready, you'll float up into your pose. See if you can wake up to the ball of the big toe and pinky toe of the lifted leg. Yeah. See if that leg can lift as high as your hip. You're wanting to create a nice line across the body so you don't have a dropped ankle. Beautiful, vibrant pose, Sharon. Really nice job keeping your standing toes forward. Fluid breath. Yes, really nice, Jonathan. Nice awake lifted leg and hand. He's now waving his toes and fingers. Fluid breath. Beautiful poses, everyone. Really, really nice. The whole room, your shiny moons. And then as you're ready, hand to the hips, slow, stepping down out of the pose. Beautiful. And let's pause again in mountain. We haven't done those standing balance poses in a little while. Let your head float above the heart, above the pelvis, and your shoulders relax. Notice that the body feels more open, spacious, and flexible. And if you're more aware of your physical strength, your mental tenacity, and if these can help buoy your heart. Okay, let's build strength another way now, bringing ourselves down onto our bolsters with our foreheads on the block. Let's work on our back strength a little bit more, and then our upper body strength. So bring your ribs to the front of the bolster. Make sure that the low ribs are supported by the bolster. And then lengthen the spine from the ribs as you rest the forehead onto the block. Now lift one leg, take it behind you, the other leg. Set the feet down, heels aligned with sit bones or a little wider. And then roll back and forth across your forehead, across your eyebrows. And notice if there's any tension there. Those of us that furrow our brow, which I seem to do a lot, we may feel quite a bit of tension in this area, and this is a nice way to release that mental tension so that we can tap into the positive strengths of mind. Now feel into your forearms, elbows beneath your shoulders. And as you're ready, press into the forearms, press into the feet, and float navel, low ribs, heart center, almost off your bolster. Make sure you're not locking your knees. Fluid, three-dimensional breath. Long neck out of the shoulder girdle. Feel into the strength of your arm bones, the strength of your core to float the pelvis. And remember, you can rest whenever you need to. Three-dimensional breath. One of the beauties of yoga is we can build strength, and then we can take that strength into finding more flexibility. Listening inward to the body. Attuning as we build strength. And release. Float your hands underneath the shoulders, palms underneath shoulders, elbows beside the body, and float the palms off the floor. Root the pubic bone and tailbone and lift the heart center, lengthening through the crown. Let the toes remain on the floor. Root the pubic bone, reach the tailbone for your heels, and feel how you can activate your lower abdomen. Root the pubic bone, reach the tailbone for the heels, lengthen through the crown. Come into your three-dimensional breath, feeling for expansion and contraction. Now float one foot off the floor. Feel how the hamstrings engage, the buttocks, the other leg. Breathe deep down into the belly, pressing a little on the intestines. Fluid breath. Long neck. You can stay with this baby cobra or release your hands and feet and isometrically draw back with the hands and float up, lengthening into cobra, working on that flexibility of spine, open around the shoulders. Fluid breath. Your hands are at least shoulder distance wide here. And don't feel like you have to come up all the way. You could have elbows bent. Better to have a long neck and a released collar at whatever height you lift to. This is a beautiful stretch for your psoas. Take your inner thighs away from your navel. And lift the base of the skull in the back. And as you exhale and roll down, stretch the spine. Reach each vertebrae forward of where it was before as you roll back down. And if your ribs aren't on the bolster, rearrange yourself. Float your hands down by your hips. Float the palms up, float the heels up, lengthen from crown to tailbone, rooting your pubic bone. Lift and lengthen your whole spine into a smile. Fluid breath. Tuning inward. Even here, can you feel for balance across the body? And release. Forearms back under you, elbows under shoulders. Press down and float up into your plank. Try to feel for space around each vertebrae of the neck. Some of you may be able to step one foot towards midline and lift the other foot off the floor. And then switch. And if you can't do that, that's okay. A plank, a low plank is still building a ton of strength. Lower yourself back down to the bolster. Float your hands under your shoulders again, rooting the pubic bone. Inhale, isometrically draw forward. Now don't go all the way up yet. Lengthen your waistline. Lengthen the spine of your rib cage, lengthen the neck, and then rooting pubic bone, tailbone reaching for heels, roll up. Expansive breath. Can you soften into truly listening? And exhale, lengthening forward as you come down. Float your feet, float your hands beside your hips, thumbs out. Turn the palms out so the backs of the hands face the hips. Lifting the crown and the heels. Fly over the town you live in. Fluid breath. Breathing deep into the belly. We even press on and move the fascia of the abdomen with the breath here, creating some internal flexibility. And release. Roll back into a supported child's pose. And let yourself just rest here, softening. And then moving the blocks to where you'll be able to reach them. Move the bolster across the mat at the foot. Have your blankets ready, your eye pillows ready for Shavasana. And step your feet up onto the bolster. You may want blocks to either side later. Lift your pelvis as your feet press onto the bolster. Pausing in the bridge pose, take some deep three-dimensional breaths into the abdomen and low back. Really try to relax on the exhale, so the exhale massages the intestines as the front body rests onto the back body. Now you can stay here, or you can draw the blocks underneath your pelvis on medium and lift your legs towards the sky. Getting an inversion into our practice. Relax the knees towards your chest. Fluid, three-dimensional breath. Where is the body letting you know it can soften, it can relax a little more? If this feels relaxing and restorative to you, feel free to stay here. If not, step your feet back down to the bolster, move the blocks out of your way, and roll down one vertebrae at a time. Maybe roll the spine up and down a few times if you're needing a little more stretch in the low back. And then when you're ready, you can keep your feet on the bolster and let your knees open out, lifting the blocks up, maybe even to high, angling them into the legs to support a hip opening, restorative. Feet a little higher than the pelvis. Bringing in your blankets and your eye pillows. We'll rest into Shavasana. Or as my middle school students used to say, we'll do that lay like a dead person thing. And as you rest into Shavasana, see if you can rest your listening ears, your ability to sense into the inner landscape. acknowledging each part with a gentle nod and smile. I see you, I feel you, I'm here, I'm present, and I'm listening. If you'd like to stay in Shavasana and continue to listen inward, feel free to do that. You can mute me and just stay where you are. If you'd like to come back into your day, gently move your fingers and your toes. Stretch in whatever way feels right to your unique body right now. Take it slow, staying attuned. And as you come up to a comfortable seat, let the mind and heart learn from the good work you did with your body today. This intelligent body. Let's inhale our hands to our hearts. May we be strong, flexible, balanced, spacious, aware of our breath, attuned and in tune with ourselves and the natural world. Namaste. And thank you for your practice.